Hey there. Can you hear me, everybody? What's up? What's up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm gonna pump up the volume a little bit because I'm not on my fancy mic. I'm on my headphone mic, so I can mutter into my artwork and not worry about it. Afternoon smelly. How dare you? How fucking dare you? Anyway, what's up, everybody? Fantastic day for some fucking visual artwork. That's what I'm talking about. I'm pumping it up, the volume that is, and there we go. Should be nice and audible, comfortably, fancifully, superlative. All right, let's see. Can you guys hear the music? Whoa, it's loud for me. Oh, it's really loud for me. Hold on a second. Bop, 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 bop. What's up? I need my Orte. Good to see you, buddy. How's the music volume? Is it audible? Is it nice? If you can't hear it, I'll just turn it off in solidarity with chat and we'll be all right. But doesn't matter too much to me one way or the other. We're going to do some speed animation challenges. Just let me know if you can hear the musica. All right. So, as seems to be tradition at this point, um, I'm going to be doing the 1 hour animation challenges that I began in the month of animation, but never did because I'm an idiot and I burnt out uh, with my other projects that I was doing. So it's a great opportunity. Great opportunity indeed. There we go. Oh, stop looking at me. All right, perfect. Stop jiggling, Spotify. You're embarrassing me. Stop it. All right. So the prompt for today is shrink. Your lighting here, BTW, was an excellent choice to support how well your emotes exist naturally. Right, I know. This shit. It's like you knew. Wow. Well, thank you for giving credit where it is not due. Let's get the animation assist on. 24 FPS. FIPS. No less than 24 FIPS. Aini Moarte, can you hear music? Somebody be fucking real with me. Somebody tell me. Somebody tell me. What's up, kids, man? Good to see you, buddy. No music is playing? You hear no tunes. That's so weird. Hmm. That's super weird, man. I don't know exactly what went wrong between my previous setup and this one. It just left the audio behind for this for the music. Like it just like I wasn't able to like reset it up, I guess. So yeah, I guess it is merely myself in silence. Is it an OBS track issue? It could easily be. I have it selected so that you just learned about those. Ooh. I had it selected in a way that made it so that you could hear it while I was live and streaming, but not on the VOD, so that I don't get the shit kicked out of me by like terms of service and DMCA and all that hoopla. But I think I need to revisit it and figure out what exactly I did last time because I guess I didn't recreate it properly. It must be a track issue, but it's fine.
I don't need it. I don't need it. I definitely don't need it. I don't need it.
All right, Spotify, get the fuck out of here then. Get the fuck out of here. You're not welcome here. All right, fine. It's fine, okay? We're having a nice, relaxing situation. Yeah, exactly. It worked fine last time. My fucking webcam. There we go. There we go. All right, anyway. Let's get a stopwatch going. We're gonna do shrink. Nah, that's what we're doing. Hajime! It begins. I've had an idea for this one for a minute. Probably gonna have to shrink this dude. How's y'all's day going so far? Jack, I was there, but how was the stream? Awful. I know nothing about audio except what I find on YouTube, which is why my humming gets cut out and I can't sing too high slash loud. It was a good stream. Lots of friends came to hang out. Hell yeah. That's what we like to hear. Pretty chill. I've been trying to make yellow corn look like white corn. Is that literal or are you being cryptic? Is it like a proverb? A wise man does not make yellow corn look like white corn. Literally. Okay, cool. You're in bag jail. I'm doing this from memory, but I think I remember what Hitmonlee looks like. He is Mr. Kung Fu Potato Head. And I could do like the actual like full accordion shit for the legs, but I think I'm just gonna leave them like this. Músculos. Los músculos. The customer gave us shit photography, so I'm using new art and have to make it stay the same between two products. Hmm. Hmm. Sounds like some funky junk, brother. But one is yellow corn and the other is white corn. Hmm, hmm, hmm. It's hominy, 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 hominy. What is a homonym for hominy? And riddle me this: how is a raven like a writing desk? No, seriously, can you tell me? I don't know. Poe wrote on both. Thank you, appreciate it. If I recall correctly, he's got weird little dino feet. How do y'all feel about the Hitmons? The original and only fighting types in first gen, if I recall correct. Nope, Machamp. I'm wrong. Immediately wrong. Disregard everything I say. I like the Machamp line. Pretty cool. Weird that he loses fingers and kind of spreads them out. But yeah. I like the forearms approach. Pretty cool. Looks like King DDD. Love that. But how y'all feel about the Hitmons? Include you can even include top Hitmon top. I think Tyrogue was like one of the coolest moves that they took back in the day. It's sort of like a unification. It's like these guys are clearly related. How are they related? And then they added something with Hitmon top as well. I think that was a cool move, and I appreciate it personally. Hitmonlee is the only one I like. TBH. Yeah, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I really like Hitmonlee, but I love Bruce Lee, so like that does make sense. If I recall correctly, he was named after a completely different fighter back in the day, in the Japanese translation. I don't remember who, but I do remember that that is the case. Tyrogue is beast. I love him. He's so cute. He's a little wrestler, and he wants to tackle. He's cute. I love him. Have him kind of spring back. Hitmonlee has such a sleek design. How can you not love him? He's amazing. He's a fucking sick ass muscular potato boy with amazing eyeliner. Like, he's fantastic. Oh. Oh. Biden? When you're fighting in Smash Bros. You get those Pokemon dot JPEGs that fly at you. Yeah, good times. He's just cool. I also really found myself. I always find myself gravitating towards designs that have no mouth for some reason. I think it's kind of like the ninja design that captivated me so as a tiny little weeb sprout that like something about it's like if I just see cool eyes and there's nothing else, I'm like, yeah, like old school Optimus Prime when they showed him and he had like the sick ass like ninja face mask thing. I was like, yeah, and then he like opened it up sometimes and he had like a human face. I'm like, no, so angry as a kid and also for all time. He real mad. He's an angry karate potato. Or I guess kung fu potato. I think his name is Samawular. I can't remember in Japanese. I don't remember what it means. I know it's a reference to like a fighter though. That's sick ass emo boy eyeliner. Springus. Why? Well, okay, right? If I had to choose between some kind of like fucking entity with like a sick ass ninja mask face thing and like, kissable robo lips, my choice is clear. And I can't help that, all right? But I will say I definitely warmed up to the robo lips, the kissable robo lips after watching enough Big O. I was like, this is a sick design element. I had matured at that point, I guess. I was willing to embrace the kissable robo lips. Well, you got the other robots for that. No, he does not. He does not need to smooch Megatron. It's what he has below the waist that counts, okay? Megatron doesn't mind. It's fine. It's fine. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Optimus kisses. Robot kisses. My fanfic begs otherwise. Well, you are free. You are free to render anyone's lips as kissable as you like, within within the context of erotica. I don't give a hoot. All right. Sick ass ninja face. All right. You can kiss a ninja face if you want to. Secret kisses. All right. As a design, love it. Much better. 10 out of 10. Angry. You gotta make it. You gotta be careful to not make it look like he has a mouth when he's scrunching up. Little potato boy. When your sibling takes your toys and starts creating storylines that don't match your lore. No, no, no. Don't. Oh, give back. All right. How does Hitmonlee eat poffins? Through his tear ducts, silly. People can shoot milk out of their eyes. It stands to reason that they can eat through them with enough gumption. I hate it. Well, listen, I don't make the rules, okay? Take it up with Game Freak. What is your least favorite anime trope? What is your least favorite anime trope? It could be anything. Mine is probably, and this is visual specifically, mine is probably when you have an eye shape, right? That could totally emote, and instead of doing, look at my canvas real quick. It's like, it's like this, right? You're like, oh, it's a fucking cool guy, right? And he looks like this, right? And instead of actually bothering to figure out what its eyes look like closed, does this. No, no, stop that shit. It's just such a fucking cop out. That's one of my least favorite things. God, I hate that shit so much. What's up, Mo Chicken? Right? Destroy the world to save the world is a silly trope. It's also everything. Pokemon is particularly bad about that. Yeah, drawing Pokemon, that immediately made me think of it. You came into something enthusiastic. Yes, it's me. I'm very enthusiastic about stupid shit. And if you enter a chat while I'm speaking, it's probably going to be me ranting and raving about shit that doesn't actively matter. What were we lamenting? Oh, I'm saying what is chat's. I'm asking chat what their least favorite anime trope is. And for me, visually, it's like I just illustrated it, but it's like when you have like Pokemon in particular is bad about it when you have like a guy looks like this, right? Look like that. And then you have them like instead of having their eyes actually closed to denote emotion, you have like this or like this. I'm like, you just didn't fucking try to draw anything. It's a cop out. Yeah, 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 yeah. Worst animation trope in general when the masked character looks like a different species than the femme characters. Yeah. I hate tournament arcs. Mo Chicken. Yeah. You and Moxie both. It's a cop out. It is. It's like if it's a fight anime, that's so on the nose, right? And Yu Yu Hakusho did it okay, but it's still so long. It's so long. It's so long. They're so lame. It's such a fucking cop out. Your shit's already about fighting. So when you make it so that that's literally all that there is and nothing is happening around it. I mean, like that's one reason that Yu Yu Hakusho did it well is because of the action that they did to like that was happening outside of the tournament was happening as well. But like it's still a fucking tournament arc. It takes forever. Oh, and then you get an immediate fucking like back. It goes for the jugular in terms of the exact antithesis to a tournament arc when all this shit matters with the fucking chapter black. But yeah, like Jesus Christ, like it's about fighting. Stop it. Yeah, that's a good one. Very true. And like I get it, right? You know, I get why you do it. It's just yeah, they're really lame. I agree. Honestly, fight anime are already a really hard sell for me. So yeah, like yeah, absolutely. I get it. I grew up with them. I love them like for their own merit, but like recently it's just like really difficult for me to like get invested in anything that's less lower quality than like One Punch Man, which is like really it's it's great because it's somehow a parody of fight anime while also being like a much better permutation of it. Like it does what fight anime does in jest, but also what it does seriously, it does better than most. So I respect that. I remember hating the tournament arc of Maho Sensei Negima. Just such a waste of time. I've never seen that, but I trust your judgment. Jabbering about anime. I'm not doing my animation. Can't really recommend it. Well, way ahead of you, buddy. I will continue to not watch it. It's not great, but I read it back in the day. I have a couple things like that where I'm like, well, this sure is a thing that I absorbed. It's within me now. The prompt that I'm doing right now is shrink, by the way. I think that's correct. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm getting a little bit. You'll see. You'll see. It's gonna be good. I'm probably gonna do Hitmonlee for kick as well, just because I really like Hitmonlee. He's not one of my faves, and I was just thinking about him, and I was like, he's gonna be fun to animate. I have this weird soft spot for Hitmonchan. I don't know why. Because objectively, his design's kind of weird and lightweight, kind of a mess. But I guess I just like, I just remember seeing like the short with Marill and everything before the Pokemon movie, and I was just seeing Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan duking it out. I was like, this is awesome. Fucking love these guys. So I just have and I don't know. I do really like boxing. Not watching it like as a sport, but like I used to do kickboxing and mixed martial arts and stuff like that, and I like it aesthetically. Something about like the character design of like the big bulky round gloves and shit. I just love it. Something about it. Animate. Yeah. If you like Sailor Moon's anime, hold on a second. I'm actually gonna pause real quick to read this because I'm interested. Okay, least favorite anime trope. When magical girl episodes are the same with slightly different flavor every episode. Like I know there's a monster a week theming with magical girls, but like it's the same episode I just watched. That sucks. That's like mad phoning it in. Yeah, I feel like Sailor Moon's anime pioneered that, says Mo. The manga wasn't that way, honestly. No, that's kind of on point, says Ayani Mo. Howdy doodle. Cardcaptor Sakura did it really well because each episode, while still having the same beats, gave so much information on how their magic worked, and there were different solutions for every problem, and her powers stacked. She always had something new to learn and do, says Jack. Interesting. I didn't really watch much of Cardcaptor Sakura, but I feel like it's kind of like necessary reading as like a Super Sentai, like as a fan of Henshin, Tokusatsu and shit, and Magical Girl, just like the cute femme flavored version of that. I feel like I kind of like. I feel like it's kind of necessary reading, quote unquote, to watch some of it. Sailor Moon too. I never watched Sailor Moon, any of it really. Pretty wild. I meant she resolved things differently. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, the fact that Sakura got a new ability every time was nice. It meant she resolved things differently. I also like that she had a new costume every time because her friend was an obsessed cosplayer. That's cute. Jack says, and she's always learning new things about herself and the magic and her friends. It was great. I can't wait for the rest of the series. Tomio is my ideal BFF. Cute. Siri, I'm not interested in telling you about Cardcaptor Sakura. Shit up. Okay. She possessed my Dreamcast VMU at some point. Oh no. The plot thickens. Just like this boy right here. Fantasy Life incidental music is like plaguing my life right now. I can't have a thought without some kind of Nobuo Uematsu bombast plaguing it. Maeve, you got a lot of time before it's actually chow time. You know, come up. You know, come up, little baby. Come on up, little baby cat. She rub against me. So cute. Stop. Seriously, I'd turn on the Dreamcast and it would display a little pixelated image of Tomoyo. I don't know why. That's creepy. I'm still not particularly well versed in the world of anime, though I have watched enough to have my own top five. Yeah, top five. Rich bestie with a closet full of clothes that will always fit me well and look cute. Plus, she's a photographer and always knows how to get the best angles. I would like to marry someone like Tomoyo. That'd be cute. Kenjamin at Mo. That sounds like how Vocaloids are born. Super creepy. Yeah, agreed, Mo. And have intentionally avoided anything that never can find an end. I that's actually that's a big pet peeve of mine for media is things that are I crave and adore things that are finite. Like I can't stand cash cow milking. I can't stand something that I'm like I love Case Closed. I love Detective Conan. They need to fucking hurry it up. It's nothing but filler at this point. Like with very very little moments of like the plot is so few and far between at this point. The kids like oh my god, like Conan would be like 30 years older than he was when he was first Jimmy at this point. The show has been going for so long. All of Kamurocho is dead. That's the name of the town, right? I don't remember. I think that's somewhere else. But all that's from Yakuza. Well, that's a real place. All of Detective Conan's town is dead. They're all dead. They all died, and everybody's a master murderer at this point. It's fucking crazy. I love Detective Conan. It's just a shame. Because, like, Gosho Oyama's like, nah, man. I got shit to do. How about a mystery a week? And like, that's cool. Great. But like, don't let the B team write any more episodes. Or the C team. Or the fucking F team. You remember that one where everybody looked like lightweight, like Astro Boy characters, but not in a good way. And that dude got hit by the girder like 7 times. The shit was hilarious. He's like, ah! And like it so abruptly fell on him. Mox and I laughed our asses off, dude. It was so fucking funny. Let's see. Let's see. Moximoth Ken, are you implying that Vocaloids are sentient and just showed up? Says Mox. Yeah, yeah. I need more. I just don't have time for that, lol. I always adore the finite. Yes, yes. Mo Chicken, here, here. Ken, Moxie, I think I stumbled on a hot new ARG. Mo, it also inhibits new people joining. Yes. Andy Morte, Moribito is so good for those who haven't. I have not. Jack draws. There was a Card Captor Sakura Dreamcast game, and I missed it. Yeah, yeah. The F team really made some of those episodes. Fucking Armadillo Coon, and they were like, "Oh, these brothers, they have such incredible harmony, and they're literally doing unison. It's not harmony. That's not what that means. anyone could tell you that. Anyone who doesn't even like listen to music. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, their harmony's so good. It's almost like they're singing the same note." You fucking dumb cunts. You dumb cunts. How dare you? How dare you? Well, I mean, like harmonizing isn't easy to do. Not a lot of people, like all things considered, like way more people know how to sing than to harmonize, but like you can't just say the wrong word. What's what? Yes, it is. Yes, what is? Unison is harmony. No, harmony is easy. Well, for you and for me, because we are hashtag built different. No, I can't not. It's like Moxie mentioned it as being like a stim, and I'm like, oh fuck, that is how I perceive it. But yeah, like, why would you make a fucking episode around it and then like you don't know what it actually is? Ooh, and then a fucking hyper realistic armadillo running away and shit. God, that episode was a fucking disaster. Anyway, Detective Conan, rip. But yeah, like, I don't know. Be real, they did not care about that episode. Oh, they knew. They knew. The second you heard what's his face be like Aramajiroku, it's like, oh, everybody knows this is a farce. This is complete dog water. We just paying bills at this point, really. And bless, I get it, but like damn. I like playing with high notes, but I'm fairly mid everywhere else. Wildly untrained, Law says Aini Maorte. Didn't they remake Conan recently? Oh boy. Did they? I mean, it's gotten enough money over the years, I'm sure that they could. But like, oh man, I really hope that if they do, I really hope that they clean it up with like with like less filler and shit. Because if they just do it again, I'm like, dude, please, I'm begging you. Why they haven't ever finished it, right? And they don't seem to have any plans to. The remaking a show that's been going for like 40 years sounds like a bad idea, says Mo. Agreed. Okay, idea, Kenjamin. Detective Conan, voiced by Conan O'Brien. Why not just make it actually Conan O'Brien, too? I would eat that shit up. No. Says Mux. No punctuation, no caps. No. I've talked about it before. There's this fucking, like, and you might have heard me say, absolutely not before. There's this fucking, I need to actually make it into an emote because I think it would actually go really hard. But there's this like really shitty low budget commercial for like a local car agency. Um, and this dude went so hard into it when he really didn't have to. You could tell. And he's like, you can tell a lot about someone based on their license plate, or it was customizable license plate or bumper sticker or whatever the fuck. It was bumper sticker? Yeah. And he's like, I'd rather be shopping. And it zoomed in. He goes, absolutely not. And he says it so like preciously, and it's so like over the top. I just fucking love it. It's like no one would ever have said it like that, but he did, and it's great. I don't think these are gonna line up. No, they're not. But yeah, if you ever hear me saying absolutely not, that's it. That's where I got it from. We speak Jeep. Oh man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, when you get a bunch of ADHD motherfuckers in the same room, it's just Echolalia City. I need to change this. There we go. Make this a little bit lower opacity. Yeah, man. It's it's really funny. No, I don't think they actually remade it. Oh, that's good. That's for the best, I'm sure. Yeah, but like I don't know. It's interesting how something like anime culture and subculture develops and how it affects how other things are made because there's a lot of shit that's like self-referential by design and a lot of things that I feel like I don't know for sure, but I feel like we're born more out of an like inability or like lower skill level inability to like execute shit beyond a certain point. It's like well, we gave everybody like crazy different colored hair. It wasn't necessarily because it was like more whimsical. Is because these people couldn't necessarily fucking draw, right? And it's like everybody has the same face. You can tell they're different because they've got color coded hair, right? I don't know. It's like it's a bunch of shit, and it's like it's way easier to draw like a big fucking big ass sweat bubble, like sweat drop, you know, coming down than to like actually do a nuanced facial expression and shit like that. I don't know. It feels to me, yeah, yeah, yeah. Speed rather than skill. I think that's a good point. Yeah, it's like you got to churn shit out constantly, right? But at the same time, I guess it's not too outlandish to like imagine the shorthand being like a feature. And like if you think about any culture that has like a super like love for its own traditions and its own both Sanskrit theater and kabuki. I studied them when I was in like the 2 year theater program that I was in. A little bit they went over some of the particulars about them. Obviously I'm not a fucking expert on anything that I'm saying. I'm just some dickhead with some opinions, but like in like Sanskrit theater and kabuki alike, there are a lot of really really specific gestures that like are just kind of like a matter of course. Like you understand it if you are at all familiar with the culture. Like if you were born and raised, you're just like, yeah, of course. Well, I know this from this, right? We studied it a little bit, and in Sanskrit theater, when there's like, it's almost like its whole gestural language, and so it's like, if you're familiar with the craft, you're like, oh, okay, when you see a woman moving her eyes in sort of a figure eight as if there's a fucking fly in the room or whatever, you know that she's showing that she's in love, right? That's like a established thing, right? And so maybe it's and kabuki has its own litany of really specific gestures, and I'm sure that informs the broader culture even in some sort of ephemeral way, or like you know down to its sort of like DNA for media stuff like that. I mean, the level of drama and the level of epicness in anime, you could nod back to Kabuki to a certain extent and be like, yeah, for sure, it's a vibe. But yeah, like yeah, 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 yeah. And Mo, like the hair color thing going back up, hair color thing is not necessarily like not for all of them, right? But I'm sure once or twice you've seen like fucking like God, we got to do this as quickly as possible. We got an art style. Maeve, hey, thank you, baby. Thank you for stopping your naughtiness. But yeah, like you see, even now there's like a couple of really, really low budget, kind of like pitchfork pile animes and shit that are just like you've seen like Ugu art styles and shit like that. It's just like, oh man, wow. Like there's a lot of stuff that it's like, yeah, it's like it's designed to be churned out as quickly and cheaply as possible. Jack draws. Nimbus has been really cuddly recently and needy, and Mom just discovered that she thinks she was cold because I need my windows open all the time so I don't overheat. She's getting kind of old, so it might be that the cold makes her joints hurt. Now I want to cry. I need to get her a heated cat bed ASAP. Oh, Mo Chicken. I heard that Kabuki really heavily impacted anime in general. Yeah, Japan loves Japan, and they take a great deal of pride in their in their traditions, and it's honestly really beautiful. Like it's fucking cool. And same with like any culture that's been around for a really long time and actually like for me as a white thing in America, I don't fucking like the closest thing I have to culture is like, oh yeah, my great grandpa was straight from Scotland. It was like, like I have some Celtic stuff. Like I went to Celtic festivals as a kid, but it's like America in and of itself, right? It's a melting pot. Like not all of us have the direct finger on the pulse of a broader culture and history that a lot of people do elsewhere. I mean, we're a very young area. We're a very young country. Mo Chicken, yes, Sanskrit theater. Sanskrit. Yeah, like the Mesopotamian language exactly. And people still use Sanskrit. Um but yeah, like throughout India, Sanskrit theater is like it's like a very traditional. Yeah, I think people call it a dead language, but I'm fairly certain people still use it to this day. Yeah, as far as I remember. But it was like 10 years ago that I took this class, and it was very lightly touched on. I did remember the thing about the fucking looking like there's a bee in the room, because I was like, well, that's interesting. It's kind of weird, but yeah, like really, really rooted in tradition. Like ends up. I mean, we've seen how shit becomes so self-referential, even on like a YouTube channel, right? Like if something's around for long enough, it's more inside jokes and inside jokes and inside jokes, and by design, like RuPaul's Drag Race, shit like that, where it's like the longer something goes on, the more it kind of accumulates its own shorthand and its own language and its own self-referential style of like humor or like its own lexicon, for better or for worse. I tried watching. I tried what? Yeah, that's what memes are. But like inside, like I guess like nuclear family memes. I don't know what you want to call them. Specific to to like one form of media, one channel on YouTube, one show, shit like that, right? Where it's like it's an inside joke that everybody who ingests it, who engages with that media, can participate in. And it's like I tried watching an episode of Good Mythical Morning without any context, like a recent one, right? I've never seen it except for like a couple of different like animations that Worthy Kids did of it, and I was like, maybe I'll watch this. It's like I like Rhett and Link from what I've seen, guest appearances on Game Grumps and shit, and it was like stumbling into another country, I assume, right? Where you're just like, whoa, there's a lot of things happening that I don't know what the fuck they are at all. And I have no idea. Everybody knows what this is. Like everybody saw a movie and I didn't, and they're making references to it. Whoa, this is crazy. Yeah, Good Mythical Morning really builds up its own memes, and I'm sure it's been great for them specifically. It's like rewarding fans for being fans, right? Right. Never seen anything about it since forever. Yeah, it's been a while, but like they're still making episodes, and I popped in there and I was like, "Well, this is entertaining." And they were like, "But doing like, hey, you know what time it is?" And it's like smurply blurply, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about, bro?" All right, great. But yeah, I'm sure it's fantastic for like fans to sort of pat themselves on the backs for knowing everything, right? And I think it's a very smart idea, and it's kind of inevitable after a certain point. If you're doing something for fucking 10 years or whatever, the veteran fans are gonna be like, "Oh fuck yeah, remember that? Oh, good times, yada yada." I get that way about a lot of the channels I watch. I mean, you and I both. We met through Brutal Moose's channel. Like, there's so much shit. There's so much shit that I'm just like, reference. You know what I mean? Yeah. Same. I think it might be a, and forgive me if I don't mean to like project or offend you in any capacity, most specifically, but I think it's like a neurodiv thing, We both have talked about Mega Man X for at length enough to know we're both neurodivergent. I don't think there's any debate. I don't think there's any debate about that. But not like to put a label on you in any capacity. But I think it's a neurodiv thing where it's like, especially like millennials growing up with anime and video games, where it's like when they were still kind of niche, but it was an all-consuming obsession for people like you or me, right? Where it's like me and my brother would go to like hobby like this place called Hobby Japan in like California. And it was like this little shitty hole in the wall, but like had like a bunch of anime figurines and shit. And like I remember they had Puzzle Fighter, Super Puzzle Fighter 2, and I played the shit out of it. I was no good, but I loved it. It was all colorful and had little chibi Street Fighter and Darkstalkers characters. And my brother would get like high grade or master grade kits, like Gundam kits and stuff. We had like those Gundam markers and shit. And I was like, yeah. Anyway, it was like it was a really interesting time to be into shit like that, like Game Informer, and oh man, I just love it. I love it so much. So it's such a specific feeling of nostalgia, kind of looking into a world. You're like, whoa, holy shit. I can't understand any of the words on this page, but look at this robot! Wow, you know what I mean? Like, it's awesome. I just like it's something so magical about it, right? Oh man, Kenjamin, only thing I ever saw. I think the only thing I saw from them was the evolution of a fart video that they did. The dubious honor, right? Yeah, yeah. Someone in this chat? Neurodiv? I know. Maybe, says Mo. I don't know much about the term, but I wouldn't be surprised if I've got some of that. And no judgment. Like I'm definitely like I'm just under the assumption that I am. Moxie's like Moxie actually reads like things and researches things and has the capacity to pay attention to something that isn't like bright flashing and blinking, right? Where I'm just like, and she's like, dude, you are like you are definitely like your brain works differently than anyone I've ever seen, and you have these specific things. I think it's pretty. It looks pretty apparent. I'm like, oh, interesting. Our vibe law says Aina Morte. Fun time says Mo. Jack draws at Mo. Neurodivergent is an umbrella term for anyone with autism slash ADHD and other similar mental differences. Mo Chicken, gotcha. Yeah, I wasn't sure what it actually meant. Mo, I've never been evaluated in any way, but I seem to tick the boxes. Yeah, I took a test, like one of those like self-evaluations. It's like this is not a diagnosis. We're not gonna give you any pills or anything like that. You should really definitely talk to a psychiatrist or whomever the fuck. But like, you scored really well, and I feel like I should get extra credit for literally needing Moxie right next to me while I was like, well, I'm taking this really fucking literally. This is exactly what like I don't think I'm interpreting this correctly, right? This could mean this could mean that, right? I feel like that gives, in and of itself, asking that for every question, needing like a buddy right next to me, gives me more points. But I scored really high, so I was like, I don't know. I'm not about to get officially diagnosed in this administration, I'll tell you that much. Eee. But yeah, Jack, generally when people say neurodivergent, they mean autism slash ADHD, but there are other disabilities that would fall under the umbrella. Maximath, if you need someone to explain every question on the autism test, you might have the autism. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, right? Right. Signs point to yes. Did you put your initials in the high score list? I should. I should. I'm on the leaderboard, dude. Fucking, I'm in esports for how autistic are you? Jack Draws. There's a website called Embrace Autism. Whoop, has a lot of good approximations for the sorts of tests they would give to evaluate an autism diagnosis. Kenjamin, I got my OCD diagnosis when I was like 8. Damn. Damn, damn, damn. Whoops, dropped my switch on the cat. Oh no! Babe! She's just sniffing it. You good baby. Ken, so I got to know what was up all my life. Yeah, for real. Looks like it landed very softly near her, not actually on her. By the way, chat, she's fine. She's a little slippery bean. I was gonna like reprimand myself for spending more time chatting than drawing, but every art stream I've ever attended on Twitch has been exactly like this, and I think it's the correct way to do it. So anyway, here's Hitmonlee. But yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting. Yeah. I was thinking about um, because there's a lot of kind of like shitty toxicity towards people who are or may be neurodiv and stuff like that in terms of like like what is your like what you don't get anything done. You obsess over one like irrelevant piece of media that doesn't actually have like a benefit to the rest of the world. And like I feel like it's like kind of like a common conception or perception that's like you guys are it's the sort of eugenics style fucking fucked up like you do not conform properly, so you are expendable or irrelevant. And I was just thinking about like how useful would it be, like how many blacksmiths do you think were neurodiv, right? How beneficial is that to craftsmanship when you're like, this one thing has captivated so much of me that I want to devote my life to it. It's not out of habit that I'm doing this. It is out of passion and adoration for this as a concept, right? It's like I feel like that's the craftsman gene, right? And speaking as somebody who does a little bit of everything, like and like can have my inspiration ensnared by one random thing that makes me want to create shit. I'm like, somewhere back along the line, this was probably really good for somebody who wanted to make clothes or make fucking, metalworking, stuff like that, right? And it's like, I think that was probably, obviously, again, I'm not an expert. This is just like an idea that I'm kind of like just thinking about, some like a light inference where it's like I wonder if there's anything to that, right? If that was like sort of the niche that people with our similar kind of mental processes filled uh, back in the day. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're fine, no worries. Art streams are kind of an excuse to chat. Yeah, it's just chatting with something a little extra to look at for sure. Right, well said, Animote. Definitely a new term to me. Yeah, yeah. Sounds way more intense than it is. Anytime you can fit divergent into a label, you're gonna make it sound intense. Yeah, but it's like it's not like neuro wrong, right? It's just like a little different. You think different. Moxie, I think there's theories that the modern world has forced more diagnoses by being overall drastically more overstimulating. That's super interesting, and I can see that completely. I think about Kenjamin. I think about how people say suddenly everyone is ND, but books on etiquette existed to teach people how to fit in or mask. Yeah, that is interesting. Inamorte, I think the umbrella also opened up to account for a few things that previously hadn't quite been considered. Kenjamin, like, nah, y'all just use different terms. That's how it's always been, too. Humans are all like, literally, we're just like so similar to how we've been this entire time. And there's this sort of like, we've come a long way. It's like, there's this like really all encompassing thought process, I think. And I've been guilty of it in the past, and every once in a while I catch myself doing it too, where it's like whatever's in the past is in some kind of unattainable, unreachable, distant past. Like it's either current time or fucking caveman like loincloth shit as far as a lot of people are concerned, even if it's not consciously, it's sort of a subconscious perception where it's like people of the past, oh, they're so much more primitive than we are now. And then you talk about it and you think about the actual timeline. It's like, dude, that was like 500 years ago. Shut the fuck up. You don't know anything, right? It's like yeah, it's bananas. But like if you look at actual like archetypes and stuff like that, and like people have been like like this in one way or another with different language as long as there have been people. It's just only so many shapes that a brain takes. You know what I mean? And you up to no good, little baby cat. Maeve. Oh, Mavis. Yeah. Aina Morte. But yeah, internet and accessibility to everything in general is wild. Maximoth, you didn't used to be bombarded by lights, noise, crowds, stimulus, electronic car noise, smell, etc. Animorte. Kenjamin, you at 8? I was 11. OCD buds. Woo! Ainamorte. The biggest thing for me, though, through those years was how many people use it so casually. Like, no, the D is there for a reason. Yeah. Oxymoth, wait, both of y'all? I'm working on getting my OCD diagnosis right now. All the hugs, Moxie said Aina Morte. I think that in large, these things depend on where you live. That determines how willing they are to even consider these possibilities, which is a pain. It's really wild how, like, Moxie, little Mavis hollering. But, like, it's really wild that, like, something that should be objective and, like, priorities that should be in place are so deeply and drastically colored by bias of like a doctor should be making decisions based on like facts and not their fucking opinions, and yet Kenjamin, yeah, like people say OCD hyperbolically to me, and they're Type A personality. No, nope, OCD is a different thing altogether. Type A does tend to correlate frequently. Lol. Come here, baby. Come here, sweetie. It's Maeve. No microphone for you to rub up against this time. Come here, baby. Say hi to my hand. I love you. Yes, my baby. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. What? No, no. No, no. Yeah. Gotta say hi to the camera. Hello, baby cat. Little dirty paws on my face. I have diseases. No, my baby's clean. I saw her grooming her paw with her disgusting mouth. Baby, 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 look at her little peepers. Look at her little peepers. Okay, watch her ears. Do you want some food? Do you want some food? Look at her ears. You go get some food. All right. Squiggly bean. All right. I will be right back, friends. Don't go nowhere. I'm gonna make sure to make it real quick. I love her little ears. Want some food? Whoop. Want some food? Whoop. Every single time. She's the best cat. She's my favorite. All right. Don't go nowhere. Get yourself situated if you need it. Some drinks, some snackings. Stretch your little leggy pants if you so desire. I will be right back very shortly. Get Maeve some food. Burp. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah. What's up, everybody? Stretch, hydrate, potty. Say that you need my water. I hate the joke about I just want people with OCD to come over so I don't have to clean. Herp a derp derp, says Kenj. I never respond because the joke response I want to use gets dark. I feel it. Yeah, man. But yeah, on a different topic altogether, I was just thinking about it. What is I'm kind of coming to a new terminology for this specific thing. I was just thinking about it. Um, what is your chat personal one of your biggest old man delights? Which is like the older you get, I feel like the more importance or like solace you get from small shitty little things that don't like if you ask like you know like a 10-year-old, never in a million years would they say something like that. Werther's originals, great choice. But what I'm talking about specifically is like for me something that's really mundane and insignificant on the surface level that means a shit ton to you and that you like really look forward to as if you were a kid thinking about like the ice cream truck. For me, it's my pajamas straight out of the dryer. I'm like addicted to that now. That's my biggest old man delight. I'm like, "Oh boy, like I felt myself have the thought, "Oh boy, I can't wait until my laundry's done so I can wear my freshly dried pajamas." And I'm like, "I am 1,000 years old." Like so old. Yeah, freshly laundered blankets every time. Same shit, 100%. Did I jump the gun? I mean, it could be very applicable, Kenj. But I'd say it's probably more along the lines of like I don't know, like getting your car washed, like dad or grandpa things, mom or grandma things, or anywhere in between. You know what I mean? Like very very boring things that like give you joy in a capacity that's similar to like how you felt joy when you were younger, like as like a kid, but like for really boring shit. That's what I'm referring to specifically, and no shame in it, no shame in it at all. I think I can get away with just one in between frame. Jack Draw, I really miss when we had a heater outside of my bedroom as a kid. It was the loudest thing ever, but mom would lay down our clothes in the winter and then wake us up for school so we could sit in front of the heater to get dressed when it was cold out. That's really sweet. Kenjamin, kitchen gadgets. Like something with a dedicated use delights me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Unitaskers. Something about them, man. You're like, yes, I am the operative for this assignment. Gotta have the right tool for the job. Yeah, I get to use this only once every month, maybe, probably, but damn it, I have it. I love and hate unitaskers. Same, honestly. It makes you feel so smart and cool when you're using them for their explicit purpose. You're like, I have just the thing for that. Like full on dad tool belt energy. My fucking dad walking around with a Leatherman tool on his belt, holding up his pure white painter's pants. Old ass man hours. I say eating yogurt, not Trix yogurt. Mm-mm. It is vanilla, but it's not like yogurt for child consumption. It's like adult yogurt. Don't like that phrase. In retrospect, I have regrets. Tricks are for kids. Man, Trix yogurt's great. Kenjamin, Amazon fucked up and sent me free meat shredder claws. Or mere shredder claws, as your thumbs told us. Gotta help out that guy. Gotta help out that guy, Flora. Like they look like bear claws, and I love them. Yo, it's like those like ninja climbing things you put on your hands. You know that it's ambiguous as to how many people like actually use them. You gonna pull that pork? Gonna pull that pork, Kenj? One sec. I have just the emote for that. I have just the emote for that. Hey, Kenj. Kenj, you gonna pull that pork? Let me waggle at you real quick. I think I need to fix that so that it zooms in. Counter. You countered me with the bonk. Good times. But yeah, unitaskers are fun. It's like conceptually I hate them, but like in action, awesome. Gear in general, I think is like that's something that like is an affliction of musicians, right? Like once you start down that road, it's very difficult to stop. I just love gear. It's great. Metal Gear. No, I just like, you know, ooh, a new pedal. That's why I actually have to like not spend too much time on Sweetwater, even if I need something specific that they're the best candidate to like get it from, because I'll just spend so much fucking like I've kind of like hermited up because I haven't had like a really rock solid source of income pretty much since the pandemic started. And so I've been like, I don't need it about everything. um, so whenever I do have like something that I need to buy, it's really difficult for me to get out of like spending mode. But I can dry up pretty quickly, kind of become my wallet turns to stone. I can't touch it. There it goes. I can only bonk myself. Oh no! I hate it when that happens. Oh, by the way, a little friendly reminder to those in chat. Um, Whatchamacallit right here. If you are so inclined, Doodle Roulette is right at your fingertips. You can get your own ugly little guy. Be like Kenjamin. Get an army of ugly little guys. Mo has enjoyed the fruits of my labors as well. Ugly little guys. $5, and you get an ugly little guy to have and to hold. It's like a donation with benefits. Good times. This is what they look like. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. You can have your very look at all of these ugly little guys. If you got Candy with an I, like spelled like I. You got Baloney Bucky. You got Jeff, named by Kenji. You have the power to name them. It's Jeff. Kerf, if I'm not mistaken. Yorgfree. Uh. What was his name? Not Beepus. Anyway, Gubbis. That's right, Gubbis. Quintworth, Bakewad, Jorts McGee, and Mr. T. All these, and look at the ones that I made Mo. This the business. What was his name? His name was Molaroo. It was Molaroo. Molaroo, that's him. He's got a beanie copter. Grubbus. Grubbus, that's right. Grubbus. The horse ghost with a question mark. Anyway, donation with benefits if you consider receiving an ugly little guy a benefit. Good times. Now back to him on the. I'll stop everything that I'm doing with a donation. and make an ugly little guy from scratch for you to have and to hold and to name. But no press, just throwing it out there. Yeah, man. It's really difficult to back on the topic of old man delights. It's really is like to a certain extent you can appreciate the little things in life like while you're a kid, but at the end of the day, usually it's like when you're looking back, you're like, man, that was awesome. And it's I find it interesting that I used to watch a lot of Food Network, a little less now, but I find it so interesting how consistent it is that they're like, yeah, I really remembered this loving this thing from my childhood and I wanted to capture that essence and make it into like, like sort of do something to honor that those moments that I had with my parents or with, you know, I had this specific food when I was a kid and it's important to my culture and stuff like that. It's like literally like I want to say a good like 75% of the most successful, especially like confectionery pursuits, like pastries or like candies or stuff like that. It's like almost all of them are like, yeah, I remember when I was happy as a kid and I wanted to be happy again and make other people happy. It's like so consistent. And I think there's something to be said about that, right? It's like the overarching human emotion is to not know what you've got until it's gone necessarily, right? Where you're like, I can remember, the only thing that you want as a kid is to be treated and respected like an adult. And then the only thing you want as an adult is to recapture the magic that the world held when you were a kid. It's like, it's universal. There are very few people that are like on top of it and can appreciate life for what it is as it is. It's like, ah, fuck, I remember that. You know what I mean? It's so consistent. It's so human, you know. And if if part of it I think stems from like a sort of want to be perceived a specific way and have control and agency over other people's perceptions of you as a kid. Because it is like it is a scary and uncomfortable thing to be so lacking in control as a child. You know what I mean? Some more than others, but it's like, damn, so this is a really big world and nobody fucking takes me seriously in any capacity. People fucking boo boo voicing me, who'd you kill? As a kid, I was like, I'm gonna fucking punch you in the throat. I don't give a shit. It's really, yeah, I don't know. He squish. He's a squishy squish boy. There he goes. Right. That torso is wrong. Wrong, wrong. Oh, I mean, quote unquote torso. How do you quantify that? It's interesting. Yeah, man. I guess it's just such a natural thing to yearn to want to feel. It's like you don't know how complicated shit is going to get. How good you have it for how little responsibilities you have, but it's like I want more responsibilities. Benjamin, I think we find that shift when we stop seeking external validation and find the internal validation. Exactly. Exactly. And I feel like for a lot of people that I know, that happens starting around 30, hopefully. Or like, if not, then like eventually around your like late 30s, early 40s, like, you know what? Well, I mean, part of that I think stems from being in a context where you are completely at the mercy of other people's perceptions and the validation that comes from other people. Because, there's a lot of people, especially in the queer community, that talk about things getting better, the older you get, but they don't tell you that the reason things get better is because you don't have to deal, you have more control over the people that you deal with. Like, yeah, you got coworkers, but it's a huge difference than being in the horrible, like, petri dish that is school, right? You're completely vulnerable. You're surrounded by people, and it's at a state where having empathy is abnormal beyond a certain point. And so it's like you have no control over the people that you are in class with or in sharing a school with, right? The shittier they are, the louder they're probably going to be. It's just like, and it's like the older you get, you're like, oh, wow, like, fuck yeah. I don't have to deal with any of that shit if I don't want to. I have a car. I don't, by the way. But, like, I could just drive places. I can get the fuck out of this situation. Just leave. Hit the bricks. It's like you might run into a shitty guy in your, and if you're in like a public transportation commute, or like if you have a shitty coworker, it's like that's like one person you have to deal with as opposed to possible like 50, 100. You know what I mean? There's a classic phrase like "hell is other people." It's like, yeah, man, you don't have to deal with that shit. Like, you have to deal with that so much less. That's in the wrong spot as you get older. Aww. All right, there he goes. I'm like this. Let's have him held for 4 frames. Let's make this on twos. He squats for a little bit and then he will launch. Still waiting to see the payoff with Shrink. Oh, you will. You have to make a text box. This is definitely going to be like a longer than an hour, I think. You need 1 frame of ease into the spring. Let's have them going like this. Make it a separate layer. This springs. Where it ends up. Yeah, that'll work. So I'll do the smear frame first. I was thinking about it. Leap. Hitmon leap. Yeah, that'll work. I don't have to do too much easing. It's at the frame rate that I chose. I think this will work just fine. Make sure all those lines are lined up. I don't remember what how to draw manga book it was, but it was the actual. I've talked about this before. There's like a few how to draw manga books that were done by like American authors that were kind of shitty, and then there were some that were like actually made by professional like manga artists that were phenomenal. And I had the latter, and I'm so thankful for them because some of them genuinely like were so important for me as a kid. Like for all the things that I always say like um if you lean into an anime art style, you might be kneecapping yourself in terms of like general progress and anatomy and shit like that. So just be careful. I say that to people if they're asking for advice, like in terms of getting better at solid drawing or animation, because that was my personal experience where I was like, I didn't know how to draw faces any other way when I was growing up because I was crutching on a lot of tropes. You know, it's that's the pitfall. It's like you don't have to learn how to draw noses in any kind of anatomical way because you know, you got the fucking triangle with some shading on it, maybe. Right? That's it. And it can stunt your progression significantly if you're not careful. So, but like for all that, like a lot of the techniques that they showed me in the that particular set of how to draw manga books were like really impactful. And that and just like reading a lot of manga was like, oh, this is how you do action, right? The use of like parallel lines, like like turning the line that was once solid into like a series of like this particular flavor of squiggly lines is so impactful. And I learned that just from reading like manga, honestly. Okay, I'll do a little bit of a trail behind him real quick. Smidge of overlap. And then they're going to do a blank thing. Here's what I'm going to do. I wonder if I can pull this off. It might be closer to an hour than I initially anticipated. We still got an hour and a half of stream, so however long it takes, it'll be fun. I'll hold it for a little bit longer, maybe like 6 altogether. And I'll do one frame. I'll turn this frame into an in between where his lines are just starting to kind of destabilize. It'll make for a smoother transition to that blink. I'm also thanking my stars that I didn't have the capacity to do digital first. So like a lot of my skills specifically come from traditional art and just like getting lines good directly with pencil and pen and stuff like that. It feels really good, and I actually really miss it. But when I do traditional art these days, I miss my color palettes. So like, because I dialed into them in a way that was like specifically built around Procreate's workflow. And when I used to do traditional art, it was with like markers and shit, which is like it if you're not if you're not rolling in it, that can be very cost prohibitive. Like having to have a marker for every color that you want. You either get really acquainted with a very limited palette, or you end up with a shit ton of markers, the few faves. Okay. There's this one animator that I follow that is like, I think they're going through animation school, and the stuff that they do is absolutely breathtaking, and I love it so much on Instagram, right? But like they're injured, and they're just like getting more injured, and they're like, I had to do this frame with my mouth. I'm like, buddy, I'm so concerned for you and your health. And I just like I hope they're gonna be okay because I it's becoming more and more of like a concern of mine. The more animation that I do, the more animation work that I do, because my joints are not like very good. It's taken a long time for me to realize that like um my joints are not necessarily like where most people's are. Not to the point of like I know a couple of people who actually have like joint disorders and shit, but it's like I'm like, I feel like this starts hurting like way faster than it should. And I need to be doing more maintenance, but I have never been good about maintenance. But it's like, seeing my fears kind of come to fruition in someone else's life. I'm like, "Oh fuck, that's so scary, dude." Right? Maybe this needs to be 30. I love 30 these days. A lot of my shit ends up lending itself better to 30 as well. 30 frames per second. Okay, let's get rid of this one. Yeah, it's not quite snappy enough. Maybe it's too many frames. Maybe I just need to extend the lines here. But yeah, it's like, wrist pain's a real motherfucker. I don't like that as much. Let's remove that. I think it needs the second frame, and I think I need to have it at 30 FPS. It's fine. I actually really like 30 and 15 as opposed to 24 and 12, which is an unfortunate discovery because it just means more work for me. But generally speaking, I don't end up doing more. Oh, thank you, Mo. It's a huge focus and passion of mine. And I've been kind of like involuntarily absorbing techniques like as I've been like a lot of the media that I get the most into, like a lot of like fight anime and shit, like ends up using smear frames to such insane effects that like I feel like I've just like been really trying to dial into it for a while, just like trying my best to sort of like unpack what made that one gesture hit so hard. Like, oh fuck yeah, just Sakuga shit. There he goes. All right. So if I can, I have an idea for how to make it feel that much more like Pokemon, but I'm gonna focus on the main gestures first. Here we go. Here's the payoff, my friend. This is the best Chansey anyone has ever drawn in the history of man. I am paraphrasing because I don't remember exactly what the design looks like. I think it's something like this, though. I don't think I'm missing any lines. Little looks like little dicks. It's fine. That's all. That's all, right? That's the entirety of Chansey. I think that's it. It's funnier if not. So whatever. Mo, I've been trying to use them a little more. I don't really like the super grotesque deformations, but making things a little rubbery works. Yeah, I fucking love the grotesque. Maybe it's because I'm into horror. I don't mind the sort of inherent disturbing quality that comes with looking at something that is like so fucking like contorted and strange. I'm like into that. It's like, whoa, this is weird, man. It's fucking cool. So yeah, maybe it is a difference in insensibilities like that. You know what I mean? That explains why you like Aaron's animations. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, oh man, it's sort of like yeah, that does make sense. I didn't think about that, but so true. Hold on a second. I fucking love Chansey, dude. Have you seen Pokemon Generations? I think it was Generations. Oh man. Have you seen it's like not quite, I guess it's kind of gritty, some of it. Kind of darker, but like stuff that happens within the Pokemon universe done like with really high quality animation. Um and one of them has a Chansey in it. It's like the girl with the green hair from Diamond and Pearl in the old chateau situation, and she has a Chansey, and Chansey is just making in the dub, at least it's like, yeah, it's official. It's official. If you look it up on the Pokemon channel, if you I think there's a playlist for it. But yeah, Chansey's just always going like someone told it like a dirty joke and it's trying not to laugh about it is how it reads to me. It's so fucking funny. I don't know. I don't understand. It's great. I love it. Also, I only thought about it recently. What the little head thingies that Chansey has remind me more of than anything. I think it's supposed to be like indicative of like an axolotl. So I think that's what Chansey is supposed to be. It's like a weird. Well, that's the thing about first gen Pokemon that I actually really like a lot of the time is that they're not just like this is just this animal from reality is representative as a Pokemon. I feel like that's a trap that they're falling into a lot recently where it's like, well, we need something that is equivalent for this animal. It doesn't necessarily like there's a lot of creativity in the old ones and some of it's like doesn't look very good, but there's a lot of creativity. I could see that. Chansey was definitely one of those weird lump Pokemon for me. Yeah, I mean it is. I mean it is. It's just like a weird pink thing, right? That's funny. I'm the other way around. I hate when they just made a bunch of weird lumps. It's like and to be perfectly clear, like I said, I don't necessarily think it's good, but look at Kamala, not Harris, the Pokemon from Alola is literally just yeah, exactly. I knew it. Ah! It's like it's a fucking like Kamala Harris. Anyway, it's just a koala that's asleep and has a log. And some people theorize that it's not even colored weirdly. It's just a koala. Some people theorize some people theorize that it is a the Pokemon itself is the log and then the koala is just there and it's like an actual koala. But I don't know. I thought that was funny. Or like Toucanon. Clint Eastwood the Toucan. It's like, do you feel lucky, punk? Do ya? That's like, yeah, I don't know. Man, 30 is fast. Ruby and Sapphire saw a lot of new weird lumps. Yeah, but like, theoretically, yeah, it's just a toucan. Right, exactly. Theoretically, see, here's the thing, right? Gallade, the Gardevoir line, introduced in third gen. Third gen had a lot of really weird, interesting designs that were like it's humanoid, but it's a little strange. I guess toucans already look like fantasy creatures. Fair, that is a good point. But you know what I mean? Technically, Ralts is a weird lump. I love Ralts. I like the Ralts line. So I think it's a good addition. Um, Third gen was really strong aesthetically, in my opinion. It had a very specific flavor, which is kind of a blessing and a curse for things as the generations progress. You get like, whoa, what happened here, evolutionarily, right? But like Hariyama's weird. Hariyama's really weird. He's very. I hate his ear. He's got a really weird ear, but as an approach for like it's a fighting type, it's a sumo wrestler. It's interesting. I like. It's creative. It's not just this guy's a sumo wrestler. Like I really note this is not shade, Moxie. Don't beat me up or throw things at me. But like sock and throw is Bert and Ernie karate guys. They're karate guys, right? They have fucking dogi, like they have gi that they're wearing, right? You know what I mean? They're Bert and Ernie karate dudes. I love them, but you know what I mean? He's cute. I like him, but it's like it's a karate guy, right? Hariyama, you'd be like, what is this guy? He's a sumo wrestler, I guess, but he's made of weird shapes. I find that interesting. Yes. Sugimori is using more of his own style in third gen. So I think I'm saying that, like, if I were to say which of these is a more creative take on an existing fighting person, like someone who, like a guy who's fighting, I would say Hariyama's a more interesting take. That's all I'm saying. So it's like, yeah, like, I mean, even the difference between Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee, right? Where it's like Hitmonchan is clearly a guy who is a boxer. Hitmonlee is a weird accordion leg kicking potato, and it's sick, right? I like Hitmonchan because I have a soft spot for him, and nostalgia is strong, right? I like shoulder pads. Don't ask me why. Maybe it's Samus. Who knows? Statue of Liberty head, pretty cool. Weird design. I like it. Hitmonlee's is better, more creative, more interesting. Put it that way. Just my 2 cents. So it's like I liked what they were doing in third gen. I think it was interesting. And I think we got a lot of really interesting Pokemon from it. Um, I still don't forgive Sugimori-san for making fucking taking that amazing lady's evolutionary lines and ending them weirdly. I think Venusaur is good though. Just like what was War Turtle going to turn into if it was left to her? You know what I mean? The lady who designed Pikachu, Charmander, Charizard, like okay. So Mo, you know every single evolutionary line in first gen that you're like, why does it end like this? That's not the direction I thought it was going. That's really strange. That's when the things that were done by fucking can you look up her name, Moxie? Designer of Pikachu, please. Uh she designed the first two of something, and then Sugimori-san did the final evolution. She designed Dragon Dratini and Dragonair. Sugimori-san designed Dragonite. Yes. She designed Squirtle and Wartortle. Sugimori-san designed Blastoise. I have feelings about Blastoise. Y'all might like it, so congratulations if you do. She designed the entire Charmander line. So you know how it ends really nice? Atsuko Nishida, thank you so much. She does not like the limelight. She does not like the spotlight in any capacity. She's very shy. She's an outstanding character designer. And she made Pikachu, the entire Charmander line through Charizard. The first two of the other starters being Bulbasaur and Ivysaur, Squirtle and Wartortle. Like she is outstanding. She did Dragonair and Dratini, as I said. So anytime in first gen you think something ends in a weird question mark kind of way, it's because Sugimori-san was the designer for it, for the final evolution. And granted, for the aesthetic and sensibility that they were trying to develop in first gen, probably Golem. But if I'm looking at it, it looks to me like Sugimori designed all of them. So I don't know what he was smoking when he was just like, little fucking lizard ball, lizard meatball. It has something to do with something, I'm sure. My guess is those were two different lines that they just mashed together. I don't know. First gen was a mess, construction wise. There were a lot of problems with it. That's all Sugimori. Okay, cool. That's what I thought. It looked like his style. But yeah, dude, it's like Atsuko Nishida was a fucking baller. And she's just fantastic. And like I have a lot of I have a lot of respect for Sugimori-san. I think he has some I think when he found his own voice and was able to really articulate it, he was a better artist by the time second and third gen rolled around. Let's just put it that way, right? So did Nishida make the final evolutions that were discarded? I don't know actually. I don't know. That I don't know. I didn't see the leaked files or the ones the sort of the nice ones that have you saw Gorochu. Holy shit, dude. And there were a lot for second and third gen designs too that were scrapped, but like wasn't there an evolution for Ditto? I don't know. A lot of really interesting things and I'd like to learn more about them, but I missed that sadly. Yeah, but Atsuko Nishida, uh fucking respect. I love the first, the classic Pikachu where he's like so round, so freaking adorable. He's like just sitting there. Oh my god! Like you see him on like the OG TCG artwork. Oh my god, amazing. Chansey. You know what Chansey's name is in Japanese? Mo? Lucky. Lucky. Her name is Lucky in Japanese, and by that I don't mean the word for lucky in Japanese. I mean literally it's lucky, which makes the item that only she can use, Lucky Punch, make way more sense. It's a little joke, it coming out of the fucking egg or whatever, right? The boxing glove. Why did you tell me that? I'm sorry. Isn't it cute? It's so cute. Good old Lucky. Now Steph can't use Chansey. That's true. That's true. Dude, next time you do one of those, let me know. Because that sounds like a ton of fun. For those of you who don't know, Kenjamin has a lovely YouTube channel that he runs together with his wife, Steph, and they do fun little doodle challenges um, on stream, and it's really, really enjoyable. If they were on Twitch, I'd give them the shout out right now. But why don't you go ahead and post a link? You will get the rare privilege of being able to post a link to your channel, my friend. Generally, I discourage links, uh, but you are an absolute exception. So go ahead. Yeah, there's 1,000 other Pokemon. That's true. We want you and Moxie on our next. Yes. Oh man, that's gonna be so great. I'm going to try if I know the name because I do know a lot of the Japanese names just out of like anecdotal interest. If I know one, I'm going to just make a Fakemon completely as if I didn't. I pretend I do not see it because I can absolutely make a Fakemon out of like a weird name. You know what I mean? Yeah. Go follow that motherfucker. Do it. When the VOD goes up on YouTube, I might also post a link in my description for the video if I remember. Woo! But I will likely not remember. I usually just go for speed and efficiency in terms of uploading shit. I feel bad. There's very few videos of mine that have a description. It's mainly just like the unedited stream. I finally started adding thumbnails to my more established series, like the Mega Monday ones. I'm doing a separate thumbnail for each of them. I just finished the one for X2, which I'm very happy with. It's super funny. But it is like it's hard to find time for everything right now. I'm just doing what I can. Okay, let's hold that for about 10. I had to think a bit to figure out who the green guy was. Yeah, it's kind of a running joke um for a lot of the community to just like Never forget little green guy. He shows up 3 seconds, dead, explodes. Mega Man hits a dude with a bicycle. It's like, Green guy, no! It's so funny. All right. I don't think the egg can get smaller, so I guess I'm gonna have it like just fly into the air for a second. Maybe some people who could be like, "There's no chance his face looks like." It's like maybe it's a ditto. Fuck you. It's cute. I'm looking at the early concept art for red and blue. Some of these designs are radically different. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Um, I like Octillery going a little bit further. I like Octillery before they did the redesign. I think it was better personally because it made the design name and concept make a lot more sense. Going from Remoraid, which is a revolver fish, which is funny, right, to like a tank octopus. Weird, but like going from that, gunfish to tank octopus makes a lot more sense than going from gunfish to just a weird octopus with balls on him. He's got like he's doing a mocap thing or something. That's what it looks like. He's got little balls on him. Very weird. If I rotate it, it'll pixelate to shit, but it's fine. Looks like a Kirby 64 enemy. It actually really does look like a Kirby 64 enemy. Oh, what? Oh, Polyrath was originally a Chonky King. He is Chunky. He's dead. That's crazy. Eh? Eh? What color did I pick and why? Okay, here we go. Almost definitely gonna have to put the text in here for context. Context. That's all right. So you mentioned that Aaron Hans's animations are not for you. That's interesting. Or were you referring to Mo? Were you referring to Smear Frame? The distortions in that moment as well. I'm just curious. Cool. That's interesting. Yeah, huge influence for me. When's the last time Aaron animated? It's I think sequelitis, and even then minimal. It's been a while, a very long time, and I get it. I like Aaron as a person for sure, but I'm not. I'm just not into really harsh grotesquerie. Yeah, it's not like a lot of shit. Like I'm not. I think his stuff is like the line for me. You know what I mean? Where it's like, it's just absurd off-model shit. I love it. Um, Exaggerated expressions and stuff specifically is like that's my top priority for like a lot of stuff. I just but like Ren and Stimpy style stuff, it's just like gross out shit for the sake of gross out shit. I don't generally fuck with. Like later SpongeBob, where it stopped being as funny and started being just like way more gross. I'm like, I don't like that shit. It's disgusting. Yeah, that's fair. A lot of animation animators who submitted GG animated. Yeah, Game Grumps animated. He did the animations for Star Bomb stuff. Oh, that's true. That's probably his most recent. A lot of animators who submitted Game Grumps animated follow that too. I remember I first discovered Aaron on Newgrounds, says Kenjamin. I was so bummed when he stopped animating. Same. A lot of them are kind of gross to me. Yeah, but like I don't know. I guess my problem is more with like I don't know. I guess I don't just consider them. I think our definitions or boundaries for what we consider grotesque are different, which makes sense. Like that seems like a very personal thing. But yeah, I guess like I am not as uh, vehemently or drastically opposed as yourself. But I get it. I definitely get it. I respect it. I'm gonna have the egg pop out real quick. Go up. Let's see. Egg is still very large. I've always found the correlation between whimsy and terror, humor and horror to be fascinating and uh and hard to ignore too after a certain point. I feel like they both kind of tap into a similar like area of release within us, you know what I mean? Where it's kind of like finding the optimum path to an involuntary reaction. It's kind of like a distillate form of making art that affects people, right? Either both of them are kind of going for a similar effect, just in a different avenue of the psyche, or the different avenue of your emotionality. And I just find that really, really interesting. But like I've heard people. I've been thinking that for a while, and then hearing people who do both horror and like comedy. Junji Ito is a pretty good example, and that's just kind of involuntary because he's just like a weird dude. He's like, he's like, yeah, I find myself getting bored, and then I start writing comedy in the middle of a longer project. I'm like, yeah, you fucking did. I read Gyo. Don't read that, Mo. By the way, it's not. You would not enjoy it at all. Um, but yeah, it's just he just gets sidetracked, and he just all of a sudden he starts writing fucking comedy in the middle of like a horror thing. It's just such a funny guy. He's just weird. But like they are so much closer than you'd think if you don't already play with the two of them. And as I said, I think that does stem from the fact that they are both aiming for an involuntary reaction and effect on the audience. Okay, so I'm just gonna squinch that real quick. Lurkers, thank you for lurking, by the way. VOD watchers, I appreciate you. I don't say it enough. Need some more frames. So between these two, I need the egg to fly up into the air. That'll be fun. Blex 100-hour animation. Yeah, really though. Go. Oops. Whoop. Whoop. There we go. Eggus. Get those huevos rancheros, bro. I definitely thinking about the kind of game that I want to make because everybody who plays video games and is a creative type at some point moseys into you know, the realm of what if I made a video game, right? I think that's a natural progression because you want, it's its own it's such a complete conveyance of vision. You know what I mean? It's such a, like it's like comics, animations, and video games are like, I think, so coveted in terms of something to make because it's a full production, right? Right? Same Kench. Yeah, I have so many, and it's like seeing the sort of makeup of the indie world, right? Seeing what people end up doing, or like it's interesting because like the expectation at this point, right? You see it with Concerned Ape with Stardew Valley, and you see it with like so many fucking indie games where it's like if you make this, you are going to work on this for the rest of your life, probably. For better or for worse. I mean, they're still making new versions of Shovel Knight, and there's still new things to discover within that IP, right? They're like it's very apparent to me that like, you know, you need to build something to last. There are thousands upon thousands of ideas and directions that you could go with making your own game, right? So it's a smart idea to pick something that you could theoretically be married to for all time. Like you got to invest in it. You got to make it worth investing into, or figure out a way, either a format or an aesthetic that is accommodating for making shit quickly. You know what I mean? Like I'm a bit of a purist, um, for my own sensibilities. I like, you know, really it's to circumvent my imposter syndrome probably more than anything else. But it's like I need this shit to be all from me. I need this to be completely legit. No pre-made assets. No none of that shit. Right? This is mine. You know what I mean? um, but I definitely understand like the speed. Like I'm on observation duty, right? That is made using pre-made assets, if I'm not mistaken. Like, dude didn't like. That's one reason he can make them so fast is the fact that it's like, you know, some of it's sculpted and some of it's like pre-made, right? I haven't researched that, but I'm assuming. I'd like to know. I'm gonna look it up after this, but like, like I really, I understand the idea of doing something, with like pre-made assets, and it's the point is not the construction of the assets. The point is the utilization of them. It's a new concept. If something is prompting copycat games, I feel like you know that they're onto something. You know what I mean? Like you invented a genre accidentally or purposefully. And I think that's pretty fucking cool. But is like for me personally, if I were to make so, like you have shit like Enna Dream Barbecue, and I'm like, that is the kind of game that I want to make. Full, incredibly like just off the wall, uninhibited, unbridled creativity. That shit is exactly what I want. Chancey used minimize. That reminds me of Samuel L. Jackson. I can't remember who he gave the advice to, but it was to get a character that you can play and are the face to, and you always have work. Interesting. Interesting. That makes a lot of sense coming from him too. Did you move the laundry at one? I actually did. Yes. Smart, smart boy. I need the blankets up. Oh, that's a shame. But I will start that after stream, babe. Needs more frames. There's enough time after stream, bruh. Yeah. Okay, do you want me to stop what I'm doing right now? Give me a sec. I will do it. Probably need some more water anyway. Getting a little crackly. Alright, and I'm gonna have it pop out at this point. This kind of gesture, it has to kind of just slide out. Probably eclipse my little buddy's face here. It's fine. It's very important that it needs to be the exact same size. Let me just do this real quick. Invert. And it's going to directly cover its little face. It's fine. Shoop. Alright, after I finish this frame, let me go ahead and take a little break. It's coming out. Yep. Patch gets smaller. But yeah, thinking about speaking about weird lump Pokemon, and it's like their place. Well, it's not necessarily like there is definitely something to be said about like the creativity of it, or like it's the fact that it's not just like a dog, right? Not to say that there can't be a dog Pokemon, but it is kind of just like, well, I know immediately what it is. It's like, what exactly is Alakazam? It's a weird one, right? It's like some kind of weird, like Baphomet guy. Kind of like starts as a fox, like a kind of like a kitsune type thing, wearing like football armor or whatever the fuck. But it is like, you know, it's kind of ambiguous. It's kind of weird. Licky tongue, what the fuck is that, right? And it's got weird little thumbs and shit. You don't know exactly what it is. And that I do take a little bit of joy in that as like a an idiosyncrasy of it, right? Where it's like, yeah, you know that this is supposed to be a Scotty dog. You know that this is supposed to be blah blah, right? It's like it's not. It's a different kind of weird. It doesn't have to be anything but like a monster, right? I guess, or like a I don't know. It's I take a kind of comfort in it, but I think maybe again it is just because of shit like Komala, but it's just like all right, it's just a fucking koala. Who gives a shit? Maybe that's one reason that I like Scyther or Caesar so much. Not Scyther, sorry, Scyther. It's like because it's not exactly quantifiable. It's an evolution of like Scyther is kind of like a weird pterodactyl mantis, right? Caesar is like one step up from that. It becomes like a weird lobster thing, but it's such a slick, powerful design. It's just I just like I just love it so much. On the other hand, there's no mystery to Heracross's design, one of my other favorites. He's just a little bipedal fighting beetle, and he's a fucking champ. But yeah, I guess I don't like obvious on the nose designs necessarily. Okay, I'm gonna take a little step away real quick. Don't go nowhere. I'll be right back. big fan of Tiny Chancy, honestly. And I'm not talking about Happening. M. Night Shyamalan's The Happening. Better than Lady in the Water, TBH. I have not seen. I don't think I've seen a single. Well, maybe there's got to be one that I've seen, but I haven't seen like hardly any M Night Shyamalan movies. So that's something. A blessing, a curse. I don't know. Didn't he make like one good movie? There's got to be one, right? Gotta have made like one good movie. Wasn't like The Happening. No, The Happening was the one with the trees, right? Six. Oh, that's right. It was The Sixth Sense. That was like what put him on the map. And then he was like, "What a twist, guy." Everything else was really mid. That's what I hear. That is what I hear. I never hit stop on that. That's fine. No, I can't do that just yet. There we go. Egg with egg with egg with egg. Little tendrils. Little baby guy with tendrils. Tendrils is probably one of the worst words for appendages, I think. Worst slash best. It's very evocative. It's disgusting. Just offhand. I feel like anything that's like a body part but it's not super specific is lightly cursed. I don't know what it is. Like it's an appendage. It's a limb. It's a tendril. Some kind of boneless appendage. Like, so you get out of here. Confusing me. Little pouch. I find the idea of speed lines very interesting. Or like one of these, one, two, three. How immediately it registers in our brain as movement. Human brain's like, got it. Understood. Three little lines? Yeah, that's just moving hella fast, dog. And like I think part of a lot of that is from like shorthand of comics and cartoons. But like that came from somewhere, right? Like if it didn't work, it wouldn't have stuck around. So the idea that it works even is I find very interesting. About the same distance each time. There. Let's see what the relationship is between want the egg to be moving at the same speed. Should be slightly visible, at least enough to sort of get a nod in there for the human eyes to ascertain. This would read a lot better in color, but I wanted to have a little bit more detail than color would account for, so gonna have him rotate up a little bit or her rotate up a little bit. Little face. Ah, yeah, I need to erase the little overage right here. Make sure its arms are distinct from its little tendrils. Maybe I'll have it like slowly get to that point. First, I'll have this held for one. Yeah, I'll have it for one, and then it'll. Nah, that's not fast enough. I think I need to hold the blank a little bit longer so that it feel the scene can kind of breathe a little bit. Let's have 6. No, not yet. Let's do 10. Timing is so fucking important. Let's hang just a tiny bit longer. Half a second maybe. Yeah, that breathes a little easier. Just a little guai. Trying to figure out what the angle would be for that. Yeah. Shoulder, quote unquote, shoulder up a little bit. That angle reduced slightly. And eventually I'm going to have its feet, things going kind of Kirby-esque. You can see the bottoms of them. aforementioned tendrils really are reading more like Lilleep or Cradily to me. That's probably what I'm taking them from. I need this little fella to just drift gently down. Oops. Oh yeah, flatten, clear. Kirby 64 might be one of my favorite looking N64 games. It's so good. And it's a little bit later, if I recall correctly, it's a little bit later in the system's life cycle. So they really had a lot of tools and tricks and shit to work with to get like a really, really clean finish and like stellar aesthetic. Plus, the OST for Kirby 64 is like insanely high fidelity for the era. Like Jun Ishikawa is just incredible. And I actually didn't consider it until I was like, yeah, I'm listening to OSTs while I'm working and shit. Let's see. Been a while since I listened to Kirby 64, and I got some nice headphones here. I actually have never listened to it with headphones. Let's see what happens. And it was so effortless that I was listening to it. I was like, wait a minute, hold on, why does it sound so fucking good? Because usually shit's calibrated for like being able to sound as good as possible through like a CRT speaker. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, like so when you listen to it on the headphones, you're like, well, that sounds kind of interesting, kind of weird, not necessarily better, but like it was like listening to a modern recent song when I was listening to the Kirby 64 soundtrack. So that was very impressive. The egg is gone. It has skedaddled to the sky. Have him drift up a little bit. Got the Kirby 64 soundtrack in my head now. God, it's so good. I think I'm gonna undo the shifting up that I did. Keeping a consistent path for something to move along, making sure that it doesn't go too far or not far enough is really, really challenging for me. Maybe eventually I will be able to do it as second nature. I definitely crutch on onion skins, 100%, to the point where it's like, no, they know the direction that I'm going. I'm just interpreting. But that is kind of how I do a lot of shit. It's like, I feel like I'm just like along for the ride. There we go. Perfect. Not perfect, but where I want it. There we go. That's exactly the noise it would make. The egg flying out. It's a shame that the best way to convey. Wait a minute. Best way to convey like lightness of weight is more frames. 1. Have have her drift gently down. I think Hitmonlee's German name is Kicklee, which is pretty funny. A little on the nose, don't you think, guys? Granted, what the fuck is a Hitmon? I sure don't know. I've never known. That one theme before you get to 02 in 64 is so good. Just got it in my head now. My brain just like ran through the Kirby 64 OST as I mentioned. I'm like, yeah, that one's fucking great. A little bit of lag to the secondary motion by design. You go hold that a little bit. Yeah, that's nice. Have it gently waft down now. I wonder why they went from Lucky to Chansey. Probably because they wanted things to feel less like direct words? No idea. wafting continue until eventually the purpose of the wafting is revealed. This is going to be a little difficult because I think I actually have to do this on twos and have what Hitmonlee's about to do on ones. So we'll see. I should be able to finish it by the end of the stream. Let's focus on the motion real quick. Precious little baby. Doing it on twos. Whoops. What's up, Ayane Maortai? Highlighting my Kofi. Yeah, that's good. Oh, I made a mark. Boop. Invert. Cut. There we go. Falling very, very slowly. I think maybe there's a little too much distortion of the little round egg shape. Implies more, like I do like the implication of motion, but this would be like a balloon, very softly drifting. Softly, you must drift towards the ground. And so I really want to make sure that it looks like solid in a soft way. So cute. I wish Chansey actually looked like this, I'm not gonna lie. It's the same face that I give the bee that always ends up in my games of TKO, because he's the greatest. I remember why I started drawing him, but I love him. I think it was just a doodle that started kind of taking on a life of its own, which is all too common. I always find it interesting when, like, and I know this happens to like professional artists because I've seen it before. It's like I find it really interesting when you have like basically like an invasive OC that started as a doodle and you're just like, fuck, I love this guy. I'm just gonna put them in everything now. I think I might have to bust out the motion blur for for what comes next. Was that on twos, the last one? I don't think it was. Boop. Thought so. Boop. It's kind of hard to see what is full opacity and what is not. Oh, that blue light not doing me any favors, really. Something, an inoffensive gray. That'll work. I knew it. I saw a couple that I had missed. Looked like it sped up for a second. Very fun to watch. Maybe I'll just do this so that the hold distance is the same. Quite right. It's okay because balloons don't necessarily fall in like a straight path down, you know? Little rotations and stuff like that are normal. It's like the Chansey came to me like a doctor's appointment. No, no, it's perfectly normal. If you use minimize and you start falling, it's perfectly ordinary for you to have a slight rotation. It's fine. There you are, little buddy. Consult your doctor if minimize is right for you. Right, exactly. I didn't think about I didn't think about for the longest time how weird that is. A commercial, it's like ask your doctor about, it's like having an ad for medicine. So someone from the UK was like, "That's fucking weird." You know that, right? I was like, "Yeah, I guess it is, huh?" So now we decide. And then about there, I want Hitmonlee to come careening through and just fucking eat shit. I think I've talked about Mr. Natural Gish before, but it's just funny. Just think about if you or a loved one blank. I just think about this dude all the time. It's like, so I think it's a commercial for PG&E about natural gas, but the dude that I can't like saying it normally is like feels weird to me now because I've just internalized so hard. The dude says natural gish. Like why he what? why why are you saying it like that, dude? It's a commercial for natural gas, and you can't say gas. You say gish. He just has a fit every time he's trying to say gas. It's like a weird curse. Gish. Something about it just fucking cracked me up, and now it's just Echolali is a real bitch. Natural gish. Yeah, exactly. Sounds like a fucking South Park bit or something. I don't know. It's really weird. If I accidentally go a little too hard on the sketchy line right here, see how the curve ends up having that little line right there? It just looks like an entire peen. And it's just, I just have to erase it. 'Cause it already looked kind of peenular, and then like that was just too much. It's just one step too close to Pingus. And then we have peens always show up in art. It's true. It's only natural. It's not unusual for a peen to be there. Pretty sure that's the Tom Jones song, right? Slightly inclining. My tattoo artist tells me everyone has a peen on them somewhere. Has a peens on them somewhere. Hmm, that's true. Makes sense to me. So cute, guys. Fucking love it. Actually, it would rotate this way, which means this would rotate that way. Animation's really hard. I love it though. I wish my motivation was better in general for so many things. It's so easy to get distracted, so easy to lose interest even on a project that you love, or you loved. It's like, fuck, god damn. It's just crazy how quickly I'm covered in peens. Oh my god. Hold on a second, I gotta catch up on the peen talk. Like Steph, Kenjamin says, like Steph has a mum on her arm, like a chrysanthemum, and one of the petals looks like a peen. All the water on my arm has loads of hidden peens. Kench says, I'm covered in peens. Peens. Peens TM. You know, some people want to be covered in peens, right? It's your prerogative. Oh no, not the peens. I mean, it's a party. That's fair. I'm really loving this so far. And I think I am going to finish it um, on stream. I'm just going to get as much done as possible. Naomi got a bunch of mushrooms tatted and her artist was taking forever and she's like, "What's up?" And he's like, "I'm making damn sure they don't look like dicks." That's amazing. I remember telling us about that. Really funny. That's integrity right there. That's an upstanding artist. That's funny as hell is what that is. It's really funny. These I've just embraced look like dicks. It's fine. Whole thing is drifting down, but it's rotating slightly while it's going. So it's kind of like I'm trying to calibrate the secondary motion of these little hairs. Anamorte, how very kind of him. At that point, I would have said, "Why do you think I got them?" Right? Can you add some balls to some of them? Like it's a mushroom. What else is it supposed to look like? Yeah, I mean, it's natural. Natural. Dick mushroom. I mean, there's levels of dickness. It's true. You mother get up, get down with the dickness. We're at time, and I'm just gonna wrap this up real quick. So cute. I don't know. I really like. I'm just pining for a world in which this is Chansey's face. It is very Ditto friendly. Ditto. I mean, anything that has like a little mip face, like fucking Whooper and Quagsire. Ditto. To a certain extent, Shuckle. I just love that shit. It's one of my favorite like Pokemon design tropes. Not necessarily trope, but like you know, inclinations. Kenj, maybe after I finish my sleeve, I get some Georgia O'Keeffe flowers to accentuate the hidden peens. So you have hidden peens and hidden, so you get some phallic and some yonic. in equal measure. How very bisexual of you. I appreciate it. Was Georgia O'Keeffe, did she paint like all genitals or was it mainly labia? I feel like it was like all lady bits. Overt, perfectly balanced as all things should be. Yeah, exactly. Well said, well said. Aina Morte, dost thou wield a Psyduck perchance? Yeah. Lady Bits theoretically, but she denied it to her grave. That's hilarious. Look at her go. So cute. She denied it to her grave. That's respectable. It's like they'll never know for sure. That's like way funnier than if she was like, "Yeah, man," on her deathbed. It's like, no, no one will know. Like we all know, but no one will know. Really funny. Well done, Georgia. Madame O'Keefe. If she meant it, I feel kind of bad. That's actually that's a very good point. God, could you imagine? Why does everybody say there's vaginas in all my fucking flowers? I'm just trying to make art here. God damn it. That'd be really frustrating. Damn. Well, I guess we'll never know anyway. Her just being like, guys, I just love flowers, has more integrity than Carly Simon. I forget who that is. Kenj, with all of the fucking references that I'm just like too stupid or unread to get all the time. I'm sorry, Kenjamin. I'm letting you down. Just a little guy. Ah, she spilled the beans on "You're So Vain" when she said she would never tell. Oh no, I'm simply sharing my hyperfixations. Well, that's so fine. That's fine. Sorry, I had the song "You're So Vain," so I said "so fine." It's pretty funny. Doop. Let's make this a little bit more exaggerated. Just a little egg, a little egg. Light as air, little egg, wafting through the sky. I like that song a lot, actually. I think a song is about you, don't you? I'm a fucking yapper, so I can barely keep any secret, let alone if there's like a hidden meaning that makes me feel really clever or whatever the fuck. I don't know if I told you guys this story, but like we had some ho hos, the hostess snack cake in the house, and mom kept them hidden for whatever reason. I think to limit me from just like sucking them up like a fucking vacuum cleaner. I do love me some ho hos. And I knew where they were just because I'm just always like kind of wandering around and opening shit. And right, I just opened. Thank goodness that didn't end worse for me, but I did know where they were. I found them. And then I grabbed one and I said, I brought it down to her and I was like, I found where the ho hos were, but I didn't eat them. Can I have them for being honest? It did not work. I thought I was so fucking clever in so many ways. That's a pretty good, just like, it's a pretty good indicator for how I was as a child. It's very, very irritating. Very smug. It's pretty funny. But if you needed to know about me being irritating and smug, Moxiemoth is right there in chat. It's not a secret. Go. Straight down. Sharing is caring. It's true. It's true. I was also a you hate me kid. Surprised to no one. Looks pretty good. Look at her go. That's awesome. I'm just gonna wrap it up real quick. Because Hitmonlee's reappearance is going to be very, very brief, and I think you will greatly enjoy it. And just want to give the stream chat uh, the payoff for having listened to me yammer this entire time and see it kind of come together. I think it's going to be really funny. I'm surprised at how well this is turning out, actually. I was like kind of not paying attention for most of it, just kind of like vibing through it. But I guess I'm at the point where I can actually like do okay work without paying complete attention, which speaks really well for the projects that I'm working on right now too. It means that even in burnout, which I am debatably trudging through just with a fucking machete through the woods, you know what I mean? I can still I can still put effort into it. There she goes. One thing that I think is important for every artist to hear, especially people who are trying to be workhorses like animators, because there is no easy way. Like, there are some workarounds and things that you can optimize within your workflow, but if you're doing actual 2D hand drawn animation, there are very few, like, there are very few shortcuts other than to just do it and get good and, like, put your body through fucking hell, right? So, one thing that I think is really important for everyone to hear that I've been hearing from a lot of professional artists and indie artists alike, or professional indie artists as some of them are, is that burnout is inevitable. It is absolutely a guaranteed part of your life as an artist. And sometimes shit is just, it's tough as nails to work your way through, but it will still be worth it to put the work in. Like, sometimes you just gotta fucking just sit in it and just like acknowledge that you're not going to get a lot done for a while, but just be ready for it. And the more you embrace the fact that it's going to happen, the easier of a pill it is to swallow when it does. You'd be like, oh, well, I knew this was coming. Just do with work, do as much work as you can when you're up for it, is my advice. Because then it makes it so that you have a little bit less of a backlog when you do get hit. I'm gonna just have him show up halfway through this. How many frames we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right there. Okay. I'll hold this for no frames. Separate layer, combine down, combine down. Same frame. I think I'm going to draw him normally and do motion blur for effect because I'm just going to basically slide his image across the screen. Hold on a second. I'm going to make this dude invisible real quick. High jump kick is 100% like tailor made to be comedic gold. Let's be honest. It's just funny. When the risk and reward is you either hit your target for a shit ton of damage or you go flying in another direction and eat shit, that's hilarious. Almost 315 love. Thank you, baby. Just gonna very quickly put the finishing touches on this because I'm basically just making a hitmonlee.jpg to slide across the screen with motion blur as opposed to my usual smear frames because the effect would be different. I need to get some food anyway. There he goes. Whenever I do like three-pronged hands in like an action pose, it's impossible to not think about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I used to watch the shit out of the 80s cartoon. Had a bunch of them on VHS. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant. That fucking theme song. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, heroes in a half shell, turtle power. Good times. There he goes. Need to pop that expression just a little bit more. And go more manic intensity. That's it. That's the whole Pokemon. Just a weird little potato guy. He looks. You know that dude from the Looney Tunes? Who's like. What was his name? What's his name? He's like a big fluffy guy. I really forget his name. Um, but you know who I'm talking about. He's like, God, what was his fucking name? Oh man, he's like the big orange dude who they use in a couple of the like horror episodes, quote unquote horror episodes. God, what is his name? I have a couple of people I know would know who I'm talking about, but I don't know the name, so I'm really not much help. I don't even know if it needs the motion blur. It's so funny, dude. Oh my god, is it still at 30? No wonder it's so fucking funny. Oh my god, that is hilarious, dude. Holy shit. Hold on a second. And then I'll just have him. Hold on a second. I think that's correct. Hold on. Turn that onion skin up real quick. I think it's even funnier without any motion blur or anything. A sec. I think I might move him down a little bit here so that the angle's a little better, but holy shit. Foot like right there. And if I just erase where the overlap is right here, do it to denote that he's behind, that'll work great. Times like these, I do this little opacity situation, you know? There we go. And wrapping it up nicely, giving a good note of actual completion. I got that saved, so I could just do that again. Another way in which coloring would help the overall legibility of the scene, but there's no way in fuck that I'm doing that. All right, all right, chat, you ready? From the top, let's do it on white background, or at least something approaching white. Here we go. Yeah, white. There we go. All right, check it out, y'all. Miss. Holy shit. And I might off stream I might just do like an explosion or something of him. But fucking look at him go, dude. Oh, it's so fucking funny. Thank you. I love this Chansey. I think it's so fucking cute. It's so fast. I think I'm gonna start doing more shit in 30 FPS because it's just so unnecessarily abrupt when you do shit that is abrupt. It's so funny for comedic effect. I love it. All right, well, so much for an hour animation. That was an absolute delight. I spent all stream doing it and just it kept going and crashed. Exactly. I'm gonna put a little text bubble up, and it's gonna be really really funny. Um, but I'm really happy with it. I think it's super fucking funny, and I'm actually quite proud of it. And that's Shrink. There it is. It's done. The prompt for animation I'm catching up on today was Shrink. And in fact, while I'm thinking about it, let me go ahead and duplicate this so I can make it clap. 31 clap. Well, y'all, it has been an absolute delight. I'm kind of into the very, very mellow vibes that come with me chatting with no music. I hope it is not too unsettling for folks that are with me live. But VOD watchers, hey, same thing for you. If you're using this as a sleep aid, I'm hoping that my occasional sporadic bursts of exuberance did not disturb your slumber. But thanks for joining me for another Visual Wednesday, folks. Had a ton of fun. Love chatting with y'all. Love being here. Um, if you want to follow me, these are the places to do it. Those of you who don't already know, if you want to support me, these are the places to do it. And if you want to hang out, this is the best place to do it. Oop. This is the Blecking Crew, my dudes. Go ahead and grab yourself a little slice of heaven, a little oasis in the shit ass fucking terrible world that we're living in. Good people, good stuff, good fun, activities, etc. And yeah, no Friday stream this week, so those of you who are fans of Devil May Cry Day Friday, sorry, you're gonna have to wait until next week. But you have the VODs to keep you company on YouTube, shared above. Anyway, we're gonna have a nice little party with some actually some of the members in the Blecking crew. You can find pictures probably over the weekend. We're gonna be very busy. It's gonna be tons of fun. Anyway, y'all take care of yourselves. I'll see you on Monday for Mega Monday as I hopefully finish Mega Man X8. And see you later, guys. Take care of yourselves. Adieu.